ABC News, this is a Gulf War update.
I'm Carol Simpson in Washington. Iraq today formally broke off diplomatic ties with the United States. After 23 days of the Gulf War, the Iraqi Chargé d'Affaires in Washington delivered official notification to the State Department. Soviet leader Gorbachev says he's sending a representative to Baghdad to renew his appeal for Saddam Hussein to withdraw from Iraq, saying the war is causing great alarm in the Soviet Union. And Iraq's deputy prime minister delivered a written reply to Iran to its secret peace proposal of earlier this week. The reply prompted a meeting by Iran's top policy-making council. No word yet on the outcome. This has been a Gulf War update.
The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
ABC Sports presents, live, in its 30th season, a Professional Bowlers Tour. Today from Winter Haven, Florida, it's the $130,000 Florida Open. In our first match, 1988 Rookie of the Year, Rick Steelsmith of Wichita, Kansas, will face the 1985 PBA Player of the Year, Mike Albee of Indianapolis. That winner will bowl Kelly Kaufman of Topeka, Kansas, looking for his first title. In a semifinal game, we'll see John Mazza of Mount Clemens, Michigan, also hoping for win number 1. And our tournament leader is making his 4th consecutive championship finals appearance from Tulsa, Mike Edwards. That's our outstanding field of finalists for today's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. More than 100 of the world's greatest bowlers have come to Central Florida for the Florida Open. You're looking at an overhead scene of the Orlando area, where millions of people come to visit, come to vacation. But the main attraction is Walt Disney World, and how incredible it truly is. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel. I'm at Disney MGM Studios theme park. You talk about quality. Quality is never an accident, and it's typical Walt Disney. Look at this, I'm on New York Street. Look at the skyline. It's a movie set. I'm beneath the marquee of the Plaza Hotel, just like Manhattan. Make-believe and beautiful. I'm a little late. I got to get to the lanes, Cypress Lanes, and meet my partner, Bo Burton. So, oh, here it comes now. Catch this limousine, will you? And Minnie, Mickey. How nice of you to come along. I didn't realize I was going to have this pleasure. You're adorable. Thank you, my friend. Tom, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, to the lanes, sir. Here we come, Bo.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. You look like you're in good hands there with Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse. And a short trip from Disney World is Winter Haven. And this is the first year we've been at Cypress Lanes. And we have a capacity crowd on hand here today. And we're only moments away from the opening match. And it could be one of the most exciting matches we've had all year long. The reason very simple. We have 4 non-champions in the finals field. Only one champion, Mike Albee. Now, the man with the hottest hand on Professional Bowlers Tour the last 4 weeks has been Mike Edwards. He finished 4th, 3rd, 2nd. And, Michael, you're leading this week. Is this the week you finally win?
I hope so. I feel really good, and we'll just see what happens today.
Well, Mike, last week you bowled terrific in the championship game. You bowled a 215 game. Monticelli ended up winning the tournament. Are you happy with that type of performance, and are you going to try to change anything for today?
No, I really was. I bowled really good last week. A couple breaks here and there could have been mine, but, you know, today's a different day.
Well, Mike, good luck. They say if you go the well enough times, you eventually get water. Today could be the time you get a drink. Now let's take a look at the championship pair. This is the slickest and oiliest condition we've had on the Pro Tour all year long. There's heavy oil down to the 30-foot mark, oil all through this area. It's dragged down to the 45-foot mark. And this area is dry the last 15 feet. Now, the players are playing all sorts of different lines. The lefties are swinging out over the 2nd arrow out to about the 5th board into the 1-2 pocket. We have one cranker up there, Kelly Kaufman, swinging through the center out to about the 7th board. Our tournament leader, Mike Edwards, Chris Schenkel, is going about the 7th board pretty straight in the pocket. I said these are the fastest lanes we've had all year, and on a wide world of sports, we have some speed later on.
Lots of speed, like Ricky Henderson, Carl Lewis, and Eric Dickerson competing in the Castrol GTX World's Fastest Athlete Competition. Plus, live from Gulfstream Park, the Don Handicap and the Horse of the Year will be named at the Eclipse Awards. That's following our show, Wide World of Sports. Here we go. 20,000 of the winner today, 10-5 for runner-up, 7, 5,500 and 4,500. Huge crowd here at a beautiful bowling establishment in Winter Haven, Florida. And looking at Rick Steele-Smith, as an amateur, won the ABC Masters Championship. First shot of the day. Leaving the 10-pin. When I say the first shot, that's for competition because they have been practicing bow.
You're right, Chris. They get 1 hour of practice before we come on the air, and a half hour of that practice is on the championship pair. This week, it's 27 and 28 at this 40-lane bowling establishment owned by Darrell and Mike Ducat.
In the number 5 seed position, 3 telecasts last year, 3rd at Phoenix, 3rd at Greater Hartford, and 4th at the Bud Classic in Sunrise, where we'll be next week. So it's a spare for Rick Steele-Smith, graduate of Vincennes College, then went on to Wichita State, becoming an All-American and a national champion collegiate bowler. All right, speaking of champions, looking for his 20th title, Mike Albee. Nice picture.
Mike Albee, who went the championship round last week at the Quaker State, looks very confident as you look at his profile. A nice, smooth delivery, good inside-out swing. Watch this arm swing as he tucks it in by that right foot, very close to the ankle. And obviously the perfect reaction, all 10 pins in the pit. Mike, the full fingertip grip. Just the tips of the fingers in the bowling ball.
That's a big double for the native of Indianapolis, Indiana, Mike Albee. Albee, a 30-year-old professional of 12 years and has earned over $1,157,000. And here's a young man looking for that elusive first title in the case of the 4 in our field today. But last year had a good year, 44,000 without winning.
Taking one of the 2 allowable re-racks he has in each match.
Well done. Rick is 5'7", weighs 140 pounds.
An ideal profile, 5-step delivery. Look at that steady head. Watch this arm swing, shoulder high, tremendous pivot step, and drives through the foul. And look at that hand underneath the ball. And Chris, they've kind of nicknamed him the Stranker. That means he kind of strokes it like a smooth player, such as a Gary Dickinson, and he cranks it a lot like a Holman or a Ross. So they throw them together, and here you have Steele-Smith, the Stranker. I'll tell you, you're going to see a lot of this man for a lot of years to come.
Like that. The 1988 Rookie of the Year, Rick Steele-Smith. When Mike Albee won his Rookie of the Year honors in 1979, it included his first title. Get this, his first title was the PBA National Championship. What a way to start.
Leanne Barrett, the Woman Bowler of the Year. The women LPT players are in the Orlando area, and Leanne came out to root for him.
Mike Albee, the great champion. 3 in a row now.
Watch the pin action from Albee. Both players have gotten good pin action in their strikes. Albee was solid in the first frame, then he shook him up in the second and shakes him up again here in the third. He's got to like it when the head pin does all that work. And look at Steele-Smith's got a double working, and he's been high and light, so we look for great pin action here in this 5-year-old bowling center, which is an ideal shape for the tournament.
Leaving the 610. And, Bo, you mentioned this establishment. When it opened, the year it opened, it was named the #1 interior in all of bowling by Bowling Digest magazine. That's quite an honor.
It's still a beautiful interior. The Ducats have bought it out. And I did the grand opening here, Chris. As you see the pin action, the ball cutting through, leaving the 610. And in the grand opening, I had another top woman professional with me, Leila Wagner, as you watch Albee go for the 610 to maintain an 8-pin lead.
All right. Very good. We're in our very first match at the Florida Open in Winter Haven, Central Florida. We'll be back.
Hey, did you stop using your medicated shampoo?
Not with my dandruff.
But your hair feels so nice. I didn't think your shampoo could do that.
Really?
Used to be, treating persistent dandruff could leave you with medicated hair. Introducing new intensive treatment. It helps protect your hair while it gives you the most effective medicine available without a prescription.
Honey, let's not talk about my dandruff problem, okay?
What problem?
New Head & Shoulders intensive treatment. Tough on dandruff without medicated hair.
Live here in Winter Haven, Florida, we have two former rookies of the year going head-to-head, and look at that. Rick Steelsmith, looking for his first win, is trailing by only pins over many-time champion Mike Albee. With a double up, can take the lead by 2. All right. Rick Steelsmith. Bo long predicted this man's success. We asked him how he felt about his progress.
Overall, I'm happy with the way things have gone. Since the injury and the shoulder surgery, it kind of slowed things down, but I'm happy with where I'm at now. And that goes back, I think, too, to a lot of support from family and friends. And on that note, I'd like to say hello to my grandfather in the hospital in Salina, Kansas.
Well, Grandpa, we wish you a speedy recovery. You have a fine grandson. All right. Run 4 now, and the pressure mantle is handed over now to Mike Albee, Bo, because he has a spare up. He's shooting in the 5th frame, trailing by 12.
Two players that do not give away tournaments or matches. Albee and Steelsmith going at it head-to-head, just working on their own game. I'm sure Albee will answer with a strike.
6-pin on the right lane for Mike.
Mike Albee kind of has a unique way of getting here, Chris. As you see, got through the 42 games. He qualified in 5th place. And what happened is he was bowling an exhibition match once upon a time, and Billy Hardwick from Memphis, Tennessee, bowled against him and said, Mike, you ought to try the Pro Bowlers Tour. And Mike's been out here for 12-some years and has won over $1 million. A good find, Billy Hardwick.
All right, Mike Albee with that spare, who at one time used a 15-pound ball, but he's changed back to a 16-pounder. Why?
Well, the 15 I used because it was easier for me to handle. I could become more accurate. I switched because I became stronger by bowling more games, so I threw the ball through my hook point, left a lot of buckets, and lost a lot of carry, so that's why I switched to the 16.
And when you throw a little bit harder, you have to use a 16-pound ball to consistently carry. Mike has gone back, been very successful with it. In fact, he set a money earnings record in 1989 with $298,000. Now to close the gap down to 13 pins, Albee, 6th frame.
U.S. Open title in 1989, the Masters in the same year. He was Player of the Year in '85, Mike Albee. 5th telecast for Rick Steelsmith, bowling out of Wichita. First time this year.
It's pushing the 25-second clock, Chris.
10-pin. Saw a few 10-pins last week, especially our tournament leader, Mike Edwards, who was defeated in the title game by Hamletta Monicelli. Last week's winner finished 75th here in Winter Haven.
The good release of Rick Steele-Smith, below the line, good solid profile, Chris, and as you said, he left the 10-pin there. That's his second, what we call weak 10. And I think somewhat to do with the 15-pound ball he uses. He uses a 15-pound ball. It works good on the solid hits, but on hits where he can leave a potential 7 or 10, I think he gives away a little bit of a power.
Okay. There he gave it away to the channel, and that open frame evens the match.
Surprising. Rick Steele-Smith slides right by the 10-pin, and he's been in the pocket the first 5 frames, and then the 6th frame leaves that half 10, and you just can't make mistakes like that and expect to beat players like Albee. All of a sudden, Albee's sitting there on the bench. If Steele-Smith strikes there in the 6th frame, he'd have been ahead by 23 pins. Instead, he misses a single pin spare. As you see Albee working on his shoes, getting ready to customize those shoes, the approach. As I said, Steele-Smith misses a spare. The match is even.
Okay, another 10-pin. And when he missed the last one, it seemed like he was in such a hurry to get to the line, like, let's get this spare over with. Like I bowled, you know, hurry, hurry.
Well, I don't know. You know, Chris, you're a pretty good spare shooter. It's your strike ball you need to work on, pal.
Problem.
And
15-pound ball, maybe, huh?
Well, I don't know. You're strong enough that you can throw him down there. But I'll bet you he nails this 10-pin this time. With a spare here through 7 frames, the match would be all even.
Taking a lot of time. Okay, with plenty to spare, Rick Steele-Smith didn't make the previous area again. We'll be back.
Why do women always know when you're not telling them the whole story? And why do they always change plans at the last minute? And why do we keep putting up with them?
Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It's cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste. So while women may remain a mystery, refreshment won't.
Warning, cold starts can be tough on your car's engine because your motor oil might not reach some of its parts for a full minute. Fact, independent lab tests confirm whether it's 35 below zero or 50 above. Quaker State 10W30 gets to all your engine parts faster than other leading 10W30s. At 40 degrees, it's 3 times faster. So don't let cold starts make it tough on your engine. Get Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
Record-breaking track stars, baseball's top thieves, and football's fleetest meet to find out who is the world's fastest athlete. Next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
You're looking at Mike Albee. Mike with a strike-up shooting in the 7th frame in an even match going against Rick Steele-Smith. Mike is on the right lane. Oh, yes, back in the pocket. All right, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. A spare miss by Albee, by Steele-Smith let Albee take the lead, and you're a little bit suspect on spares sometimes, Kelly. What do you think in a one-game match? You think it'll have an effect on you?
It may be. Albee's such a great bowler. You don't give him a break like that. But for me, I'm just going to go out there and try to spare. You know, I'm going to try to strike and then just try to concentrate on my spares. The last show I made, I did pretty good on spares, and I've been working real hard on them lately. And we'll just see what I can do.
All right, Kelly Kaufman, good luck. Chris?
Thought he had them all on the left lane, leaving the 7-pin. Mike Albee, who is second in career earnings as a left-hander. First being Earl Anthony, $1,344,000. Mike, $1,157,000. All-time money winner, all of professional bowling. Marshall Holman, $1,005,000. But here is a young man that keeps physically fit, could go on forever.
A man who missed 2 7-pins in Paris 1982 to lose the tournament has changed to a straight shot for 7 pins since, and I've never seen him miss since then.
He and his wife Tammy are parents of one son, Christopher.
Well, see if Steel Smith can spring back. He has probably the best training of any man ever come out on a Pro Bowlers Tour. Had the luxury of taking his training at the United States Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs for both psychological and physiological bowling. Let's see how he comes back.
Rotator cuff surgery, and is doing remarkably well. He is 26 years old, and he'll be on Sunrise, Florida. That's where we go from here. Next week, the tour continues, and it'll be the $160,000 Bud Light Classic. See Don Carter and all his associates there, and what a pleasure to see them. 3 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, 2 Central live.
Key frame for Steel Smith has a potential 247, albeit potential 246, but Steel Smith trails by 9. He can take the lead. 9th frame with a strike.
Pressure was on, it came through. The winner will meet the man to whom Bo just talked, Kelly Kaufman of Topeka.
Albee 9th frame, pressure's on Albee now. He trails by 1 pin. We have a potential tie match coming down to just a 1 pin difference.
Left-hander Mike Albee. Another great left-hander, Johnny Petraglia, finished 45th. Last week, he was inducted into the New Jersey Sports Hall of Fame along with Lou Piniella, as we look at Tammy Albee, Lou Piniella, and Phil Rizzuto.
Quite an honor. Now, Albee, one of the greatest championship round or TV bowlers, if you like to call it that, of all times, is in a position where he needs to strike to take the lead. He has a 63-38 lifetime average on TV, one of the best. Needs a strike.
This time left with a 3 and a 5 and a 6.
Really sets up the potential for a tie match right here. Let's give Albee spare strike. That would finish at 226. If Steel Smith doesn't strike on the first ball and gets 9 spare strike, it'd be a 226 tie. Albee sliding by. 3-5-6, got to guard against chopping the 3-6 off the 5. 10th frame.
Mike Albee. 19 titles. Earl Anthony, left-hander, 41. Dave Davis, 18. Steve Cook, Mike's brother-in-law, and Johnny Petraglia with 14 each. Lefties have done well over the years.
Well, lefties somewhat have a winning advantage, Chris, and when I have a minute, I'll explain that. They don't have a scoring advantage. They have a winning advantage, basically in bowling and maybe in other sports. Now, for this match, though, Albee needs a strike to force Steel Smith to strike to win. 226 potential.
Five-pin, crossing over.
Albee 225, and not a very aggressive Mike Albee in that match. Looked like he was somewhat lackadaisical and
Tentative.
Tentative, that better word. And not to take this man for granted, because right now, Rick Steel Smith needs 19-pin fill in the 10th frame to win the match. 18, we have a tie. Anything less, Albee wins.
Well, now.
Wow. That 15-pound ball just cut right through the heart of the pins, left the 4-9 split. Last time we saw it in a situation like this, we reminisce Mike Edwards, 1985, losing the tournament at Quaker State to Mike Durbin. Here's what he needs to do. He needs to get the ball over next to the 4 and slide it into the 9. If he does not make it like that, he cannot tie the match. He needs this and a strike for a tie.
Rick Steel Smith showing the appreciation by the capacity crowds. A handshake from the winner, Mike Albee, who advances against another non-winner named Kelly Kaufman, Topeka, Kansas. We'll return after this message, and now a word from our ABC station.
Sometimes, without any warning at all, cars and trucks quitting before their time. before their owners get the most out of their investments. Maybe they don't know about AC Delco, a full line of auto parts designed with proper maintenance to help your car or truck last. Maybe they should. AC Delco. It's like buying time.
Freedom's the one. Only one gum passes the test when you've got dental work, and that's Freedent. Freedent won't stick to your dental work, so you can be confident chewing it. And because it also moistens your mouth and freshens your breath, Freedent's in a class by itself.
Freedent's the one that took the stick out of gum, and Freedent moistens your mouth. Yeah, moistens your mouth and freshens your breath while you chew.
Non-stick Freedent moistens your mouth and freshens your breath.
The blockbuster movie for the kid in all of
I
them.
want to spend the night with you.
Do you mean sleep over?
Yeah.
Okay, but I get to be on top.
Tom Hanks. Big Sunday.
When was the last time you enjoyed steak and lobster? When was the last time you could afford to? Well, you can now at Chicago's for only $14.95. So make plans now with family or friends for a good time and a great dinner at Chicago's. It's steak and lobster just $14.95 for a limited time. And enjoy live entertainment every weekend. Treat yourself to something really special tonight at Chicago's, Monroe at Sylvania.
Imagine the possibilities in your personal oasis, an Oasis patio room. The Oasis patio room is your place to extend your outdoor living season with a full line of optional features to fit any home or lifestyle. The Oasis patio room is waiting for you to enjoy. The Oasis patio room. Imagine the possibilities.
Visit Air Seal's gigantic showroom or call 473-0400.
Jim Tishy, weeknights at 5:30 on 24 News Watch. The Pro Bowlers Tour, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. And by True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores.
We're back again in Winter Haven, Florida, Cypress Lanes, our very first visit to this establishment, and what a match we had in the first. Mike Albee, 19-time champion, defeated Rick Steelsmith, 225 to 213, each professional with 6 strikes. Now, Kelly Kaufman steps in, only his second television appearance as Mike Albee, winner of the first match, leading off.
Mike keeping every ball around the pocket, as did Rick Steelsmith. It was just a carrying contest in the first match. Steelsmith left 3 10-pins in that 4-9, Albee around the pocket except for his fill ball. Has to feel quite fortuitous to even be in this match when you have a caliber player as Steelsmith to open and hand him the match while he's sitting on the bench. Let's see if he can take advantage.
All right. And now we get a closer look at Kelly Kaufman, Topeka, Kansas. Big fella, 6'2", 240 pounds, taught by his father, Virgil, who was a very good bowler. Boy, Kelly wastes no time once he gets up on the approach. He's ready to pull the trigger.
Well, he was somewhat cautious in his 4 practice balls, but here the first shot, he's very aggressive. You see him take a 5-step delivery and just drive through this shot with that big hook ball. Look at the tremendous wrist action, and bam, 3-pound, 8-ounce pins, all 10 driven straight back.
Second in the 1990 ABC Masters, losing to partner Bone. Oh, look at him, non-winner out there. Doubling, putting pressure on Albee, who had marked with a spare earlier.
They call Kelly Kaufman the nickname the Saw Master, and that's exactly what he did to that rack. He took the 5-pin and just sawed it in half, knocking out the 7, coming back along for good measure. Let's see if it affects Albee, who's just a terrific championship round player.
And it's a 6-pin for Mike Albee. off to a better start in his first match. His victory over Rick Steele-Smith, 225 to 213, opened with 3 in a row, and here now going for his second strike, second match.
You can see that oil on the bowling ball right there. Is the camera looked right in it. The lanes are very oily today, very fast.
Okay, tomorrow ABC's College Basketball Series presents an action-packed doubleheader. First live at 2 Eastern, key Big Ten matchup. Purdue goes to Bloomington to meet the Hoosiers. Bobby Knight's 4th-ranked Hoosiers. Then live at 4 Eastern, it's regional coverage. Number 5 Arizona meets Pac-10 rival UCLA, or Big Ten action continuing as Illinois takes on Minnesota. That's all tomorrow. ABC's College Basketball.
Indiana, Chris, how they
Very
look?
good. They're very good.
Good team.
My alma mater coming along a little slow. They'll improve. But, Bo, they have 2 coaches that are colorful. They both have the intensity of a Nelson Burton. They like to win like we do.
Thank you. As you see, Mike Albee, as they say, hit him thin, watch him spin, and he definitely drove them all out that time as the head pin went to the sideboard, twisted between the 6 and 10, became a strike.
All but the 4. And Kelly pointed to the lone pin.
Boy, I tell you, the 25-second clock will never affect Kelly Kaufman. I mean, as the 4 pins just being reset by the automatic pin setter, he's on and ready to go. Change of balls, cross lane. Chris, we talked about this spare making being a problem with him, and here the first simple spare he has, he misses the 4 pin, and not even close. And I'm sure that'll get him thinking, but he's got a great strike ball, but he have to make those spares. He can't compete at this level for a very long time.
Not when you're bowling against Mike Albee. Ooh. Great recovery by Kelly Kaufman. Still shaking his head, and why not? We're in our second match. We'll have more of it following this.
Can do it with True Value.
Great buys are found in the Founders Day Circular. Look what $1 will buy for cleaning, storing, and more. Just $1 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Tour's top kegglers trying to tap into the prize money at the $160,000 Bud Light Classic. It's ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
PBA Bowler of the Year, Mike Albee, shooting in the 5th frame after marking with a spare. Left a 7 here with a high hit. He left a 4 in the previous frame while we were away, but he covered it easily to continue marking and to have a narrow lead over Kelly Kaufman. Kaufman only the 2nd time on television for Mike, his 57th television appearance, his 2nd this year, and in all those appearances a 222 average. You don't think it's tough out here? That average alone will tell you how good they are. Okay, we go to Nelson Burton.
Thank you, Chris. John Mazza, you know, the 25-second clock almost pushes your game style. Does it really bother you when you go in the championship round?
I don't think so, Bo, because in match play, I look to bowlers on my left and right, and today I'm not going to be looking to left or right. It's just me and the guy I'm bowling.
Almost caught Steele-Smith, so he feels like he'll get the shot off in time, Chris. He'll be in the semifinal. Back to you.
All right, nice job by Kelly. That's a double and a 9-pin lead. We asked Kelly earlier how he got started in this wonderful game of bowling.
Well,
my dad had bowled all of his life, and when I was born, I was basically born in a bowling center in a sense. So he, as I turned 4 years old, he put me into a youth league, and I started bowling since I've been 4, and he's taught me ever since. So, and just when I got older, I just kept with it, and now I'm out here on the tour.
All right, and the same man you just heard talking, leaving the 2-pin on the left lane, and Mike is always at work, it seems.
Well, you have to keep that bowling ball feeling as good as possible. And most pro bowlers, their hand doesn't swell as they play. It actually goes down a little bit, and I'll be putting one more piece of tape in there as Kelly Kaufman is quickly up to shoot the 2-pin.
All right. Well, that thumb. Pete Weber had to withdraw in the tournament because of that thumb.
Pete had made the top 24, and he was replaced by Gary Dickinson, and we'll see all the top 24 finishers when we do our rundown later on the telecast. Now, Albee trails by 8, has filled all 5 frames, 4 9 counts and a strike, comes up in the 6th.
Seven-pin on the right lane.
Albee just around the pocket. Now, we said this is a very slick or oily lane surface, the fastest as the players call it all year long, and that reflects in the pin action sometimes. Albee we saw around the pocket, not carrying every time. Steel Smith left a few 10 pins, and that's just a residue of a heavy or a high lubricity surface. So Albee's doing the best he can. He's right in the match, and he will trail by 9 with a spare.
Mike Albee won the first match over Rick Steelsmith, 225 to 213. And you remember he was in our telecast last week. He lost to the eventual champion, his nemesis, Amleto Monticelli, 242 to 216. One telecast last year, made the most of it by capturing the Greater Hartford Open in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Oh.
Mike didn't like that shot at all. He just lost the ball on the bottom of the swing, didn't get the lift, and leaves the 6-9. Pretty tough spare over in the right-hand corner. He could either slides off us. Now watch his hand here. As he's been getting the ball over the foul line. There he rolls it right at the foul line, doesn't get the proper lift. The head pin doesn't do the work over in the 6-pin zone. This is a tough spare, Chris. You can either chop the 6 off or go sailing by and leave the 9. There it is.
The story. Errors here thus far. We're in the second game. Mike Albee and Kaufman. Kaufman leading.
I'm working and you're sneezing.
Well, I took a cold pill this morning.
Didn't last. Take contact.
That's the one with those 600 tiny Tide pills.
That lasts 12 hours. That's up to 3 times longer than the ordinary cold medicine you took. There's a whole day's work in every contact.
I get it. Oh.
Ah, finito.
Contact saved the day.
There's a whole day's work in every contact.
It's Tommy Lasorda with a way to help you lose weight that's going to shake things up. Ultra Slim Fast Fruit Juice Mix.
Juice it up, lose weight, feel great.
Mix it with your favorite fruit juice.
Juice it up, lose weight, feel great.
It's a delicious, nutritious part of the Ultra Slim Fast plan.
Juice it up, lose weight, feel great.
New Ultra Slim Fast Fruit Juice Mix.
Give us a week, we'll take off the weight.
Record-breaking track stars, baseball's top thieves, and football's fleetest meet to find out who is the world's fastest athlete. Next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Well, while we were away running behind our time schedule, Kelly Kaufman missed the 6-pin in the 7th frame for an open, came back in the 8th to strike. Now, Mike Albee shooting in the 8th. Distracted.
I said it's a bug. You know, we're in Florida.
It was a bug.
And if you've ever been to Florida, exterminators make quite a bit of money down here, and apparently they can be charged. It's going to be sent in here. 25-second clock being reset.
Oh, yes. tap down there.
As you see the replay of Albie's good slide, good deep knee bend. He's got those shoes just ground down so he can bite in those approaches. Gets the, watch the action of the 4-pin, the second pin on the left-hand part of your screen. Just bumps out the 7. And with this strike here in the 9th frame, Albie can make it an even match.
2 close matches thus far in the Florida Open. And again. Tammy loves it. So does Mike. Wry smile.
Not really luck, just a residue of a lot of practice. Don Carter made a living of knocking the 10-pin out this way as a right-hander. Albie's doing it as a lefty. The match is all even. Kaufman's up in the 9th. He can retake the lead.
Can you believe? Like history repeating itself here this afternoon. Goodness.
Boy, Albie says, just let me get them close, and then they can throw and leave a 4-9 on lane 28. That was the undoing of Rick Steelsmith in the first match in the 10th.
Yes.
And here's what Kaufman has to do. Get the ball over the 4, slide it into the 9. Here he goes. Slide the 4 into the 9. That's the way he's got to do it. Let's see what happens.
Right idea, but that opened in the 9th, disastrous. Trailing now by 12 pins.
Kelly Kaufman, 162 through 9 frames. 3 strikes in the 10th, 11th, and 12th. 192, all be going at a 194 pace. Kaufman needs a strike.
.610.
Boy, he has to make this to have any chance of winning. He's had 3 open frames so far. He's had 5 strikes, but he's missed a 4-pin. He's missed a 6-pin. Got a disastrous 4-9 split as Mike Albie keeps the perspiration down on left hand. But what faces Kaufman right now is a need for a spare. 10th frame. Kelly Kaufman really showing his inexperience. Has never been a winner on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Albie the only winner we have in our quintet of 5 today. Steelsmith already being eliminated. Has not kept any pressure at all on Albie winning. Looked like he could really run over him in the first 5 frames, but he still has a chance. Needs a good count here to force Albie to mark.
Kelly Kaufman, 25 years old, from Topeka, Kansas. Only his second ever telecast. Second in the Masters, losing to Parker Bone in 1990. And here is Mike Albie, who won the '89 version of the Masters. Double
Mike
up.
Needs a mark to win. Strike or spare, he shuts out Kelly Kaufman.
So Mike Albie now has won 2 matches here in the Florida Open, and he will move up. And we'll also see the bowling tip of the week, adjustment to lane conditions using 2 different balls with Bo Burton.
ABC Sports Bowling Tip of the Week is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
On last week's bowling tip, we talked about adjusting to lane conditions. We talked about lofting the ball with a fairly stiff leg on the dry lane condition or the short oil condition. We also spoke about rolling the ball on the very slick lane condition to get some hook and finish at the back end. This week's bowling tip is also about adjusting to lanes. And one of the most important adjustments you can make is with the bowling ball itself. Every serious player should own 2 bowling balls, one that hooks and one that goes straight. First place, let's look at the hooking bowling ball. This is usually a very porous bowling ball that'll hook on almost all lane conditions, even the very slick lane conditions. The second type is for the short oil lane condition or the dry lane condition. This ball is less porous and very shiny and goes straight on almost any type of lane condition. Now let's see how my ball works on this condition. First, the soft porous ball. The big hook swinging wide and maximum striking power at the pocket. Now on the exact same lane, watch how the hard ball works. It's much shinier, will take a straighter trajectory to the pocket, and can control the dry lane surface. So all serious bowlers, remember this. Own 2 bowling balls. One for the normal, the slick lane, the porous ball, and one for the dry or short oil lane, the very shiny ball, the very hard ball.
Financial news. The full-size Ford pickup is not only priced less than Chevy when you buy it. An independent study shows it costs less to operate while you own it. And it's worth more when you sell it.
Ford trucks, the best ever.
From the moment you buy it to the moment you sell it, Ford put Chevy in the red and you in the black. More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
When your eyes feel extra dry and irritated, they need extra relief. Visine Extra gets the red out, plus an extra medication soothes, cools, and moisturizes dry, irritated eyes. Visine gets the red out and a whole lot more.
When sore muscles or minor arthritis pain hold you back, you need strong medicine. Ben Gay with not just 1, but 2 pain relievers. Warming power for fast relief. Helps get you going again. Ben Gay. Fast, strong medicine for pain relief.
Strike out to score more.
I just can't seem to find the pocket.
Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and let Bo Burton's instructional home videos, Score More, help you solve your bowling problems.
Here's what the pros do.
Learn Bo's valuable tips on performance, practice techniques, body conditioning, and equipment selection, and score more. Only $24.98 plus $3 shipping. To order Bo's home video, call 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
Here in Winter Haven, Florida, Mike Albee has won the first 2 matches, defeating Rick Steelsmith in the first 225 to 213 with 6 strikes. Then he came back to defeat another non-winner, Kelly Kaufman, 203 to 181 with 4 strikes. Now, an all left-hander match coming up between non-winner John Mazza, Mount Clemens, Michigan, and Mike Albee of Indianapolis, Indiana. John Mazza and Albee, Bo. And since we have 2 left-handers, do left-handers have an advantage?
Well, we said that there is a left-handed advantage in the sport of bowling. It's not scoring, Chris. It's simply that when the format of a pro bowling tournament comes around, and let's say it's match game play on Friday, as it is every Friday, and you get a bonus of 30 pins for every game you win. If it happens to be a little easier lane condition on the left side that day, lefties are bowling against maybe 15 righties as an advantage. On the days that the right-handers have an advantage, obviously the left-hander gets buried and ends at the bottom of the pack. So there's a slight winning advantage on the Pro Tour, but not a scoring advantage. And Chris, we got some upcoming stops here that look pretty good on the Pro Bowlers Tour. And next week we'll be in southern Florida for the Bud Light Classic, and then one of your favorite places, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I love that Keystone State of Pennsylvania, and it'd be good to get back to Erie for the Flagship City Open. That's 2 weeks from today, right here on the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. 160 started in Florida.
Some strong finishers, LeClaire and Alexander up there. Abood, Romick. 8th and 9th. Another strong lefty. Butch Soper, our regular here up at the announce booth up there. Look at Schlegel and Kreitz in there. Some of the veterans. Rapid Randy Peterson in there. Lawrence, Bowker, Rod Pasteur, Billy Young getting a good solid check. Baker, Parker Bone III, another strong lefty. Jeff Edens, 21st. Powell Cheney is an amateur. One of the 5 amateurs had a chance to bowl in the tournament. He qualified in the top 24. Dickinson finished 24th, replaced Pete Weber in the match play finals, Chris.
All right. This at Cypress Lanes, Winter Haven in the Orlando area. It's a beautiful day outside, about 70 degrees, full sunshine. And first up in the 3rd match, 2-game winner today, Mike Albee. Very grateful on that one. Nice little smile.
First time we've had an all left-handed match. Once again, the experience of Albee with 19 tour victories. His 4 opponents, no victories. And here's one of those young players, John Mazza.
John's been sort of starting to roll this year. He's 12th in the ARC Pinole Open. And here now he finished 2nd in this field of 160 after match play. Now head-to-head against Mike Albee.
See how Mazza reacts. He had a 91-pin lead going in the 42nd final game last night against tournament leader Mike Edwards.
Edwards defeated him by 95 pins in the final game to take the lead. Let's see if there's a little hangover from that disastrous last game.
All right. Well done for John, a double. So he's let Mike know that he's here and ready.
Both these players medium speed balls. I'd say medium speed, 16 to 17 mile an hour range. We saw Kelly Kaufman in the previous match. He was up there 19 or 20 miles an hour, real cranker.
So our match is all even now after 2 frames. You see David Ozio, who won our first 2 tournaments, in the lead, and Walter Williams, who was close at the beginning. Mike Edwards now can move into second should he be able to win $20,000 today. Monticelli, victory last week, and Brian Boss at 23-5-20. Ozio off to a great start.
Taking a bowling tip of the week to a little bit farther down the line, as you see the averages. Walter Ray 221, he's always up there. Obviously these players are making money, they're going to have high averages, and we'll deal with Albie's bowling ball situation right after this shot.
Well, Mike now with a 5-7.
Well, it's just a completely wild shot, and it's an unusual spare for Mike Albie as he has to slide the 5-pin over into the 7. So he has to get the ball over to the right-hand side of the 5-pin, slide that ball over, and I'm saying Albie has used 3 different bowling balls today trying to match it up. He needs to get that 5-pin over into the 7. Tough shot for a lefty.
So it's an opportunity now for John Mazza, double up shooting in the 3rd frame. Can take a 26-pin lead with his 3rd strike here. Crossing over, leaving the 4th.
John Mazza has bowled on the tour almost a full decade now and has not come away with a victory. And Chris, the 25-second clock is not going to bother him. He's up there like a dart. And I think that's good psychology. He has struggled. He has never won a championship round match. Change the pace.
And he told you he wasn't going to look to the right or left because there wasn't anybody bowling on either side in the television case. So maybe he's got the right formula today.
I agree. And speaking right or left, good tip for the amateurs to speed up bowling. When you're bowling in league play or even open play, we just give 1 lane to the right and 1 lane to the left courtesy. I often see amateurs in league play looking down 3 or 4 lanes waiting to take a shot. Not fair. Bowl as quickly as you can.
All right, John Mazza, 2 strikes, is fair and strike, has a 15-pin lead here in our semifinal match. We'll return following this.
I was an IRS agent for 24 years. You can imagine, people weren't very happy to see me coming. I stopped working for them about 5 years ago. Now I'm a member of AARP, and I volunteer to help people do their taxes through the AARP Tax Aid Program. And you know, I hear something I thought I never would.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
AARP, making a difference.
Refreshing mint. No wonder Polident has a minty mouthwash ingredient in every tablet. Other cleansers may get dentures clean, but Polident gets the minty fresh clean. Super strength, super minty, Polident.
Extra strength Rolaids antacid, stronger because it has more calcium carbonate, more than any Tums tablet. Extra strength Rolaids, 1,000 milligrams of calcium carbonate and salt-free. This settles it once and for all.
Hoosier State bragging rights are on the line when Purdue meets Bobby Knight and Big Ten arch rival Indiana. It's the start of an ABC college basketball doubleheader tomorrow.
Basketball tomorrow, ABC. Bowling this afternoon on ABC, as it has been for 30 years. It's been fun to watch this man for 12 years on the tour and watch him win 19 titles. With shots like that. He needed it because he had an open frame. Nearly converted to 5-7. Okay, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Tournament leader Mike Edwards, 4th week in a row, championship round game. People say Mike Edwards has to be a little bit more aggressive. What do you say to those type of critics?
I don't know. I just want to bowl my own game and just take one frame at a time and see what happens.
Mike, as well as you bowled last week, you bowled that well this week in the championship round game. You have good odds to win. Good luck. Chris?
Okay. Now going for that double and cut the lead to 5. And Mike now trailing John Mazza by 5. However, Mazza has a strike up, shooting in the 5th frame of this semifinal game. You just joined us. Halby defeated Steele Smith 225 to 213, then defeated Kelly Kaufman 203 to 181. All right, and John Mazza is back to a 15-pin lead, and Mike Edwards keeps warming up to the right.
Mazza with a 4-step delivery, inside-out swing. And he's a well-practiced player, gets good leverage on this ball, plays around the 3rd arrow. And when he's bowling this well, Chris, you hear that ball kind of ticking the thumb hole. I practiced a lot of times when I was touring with John Mazza, and that means he's relaxed. He's not trying to do too much to it. He did that in the last frame. He can now take a 25-pin lead.
And the pro from Mount Clemens, Michigan. He's a little proud of his home area. And, of course, it's an area from where many great bowlers have come. One off to our right, Harry Sullins, who is here today, and you think of all the greats from the past.
Harry Sullins, the legend. He'd like to be out there right now, but he'll be down at the Bud Light Classic next week at Don Carter Lanes. Now Albee can cut the lead to 15.
And leaving a 2-5.
I don't think Mike has really felt comfortable with his bowling ball all day long, Chris. He bowled the first match with a very porous ball when the lanes were very oily and slick. Changed a little bit in the second match against Kelly Kaufman. And here in the 3rd match, he's gone to a very shiny, brand-new ball to cut the hook down even more. And it's just off and on. It's a little bit sporadic, and he really is not locked in. He needs this spare to still trail by 27.
All right. So you think of special professionals when a name like Joe Joseph comes up, or Bob Strampy.
Well, those are great players from basically the Motown area.
And from the capital city of Indiana, Mike Albee. Very popular there, Bo, as you know, and one of the reasons is the fact that he works a lot with youngsters.
It's nice to give something back. Right now, he's going to the Albee Treasury. Let's see how much money he can make today.
He is, without a doubt, Indiana's #1 hockey fan, and so is Tammy, his wife. Okay, we'll be back with more of this semifinal.
Hey, did you stop using your medicated shampoo?
Not with my dandruff.
But your hair feels so nice. I didn't think your shampoo could do that.
Really?
Used to be, treating persistent dandruff could leave you with medicated hair. Introducing new intensive treatment. It helps protect your hair while it gives you the most effective medicine available without a prescription.
Honey, let's not talk about my dandruff problem, okay?
What problem?
New Head & Shoulders intensive treatment. Tough on dandruff without medicated hair.
Got a painful cold? Gotta get relief? Get Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. It relieves painful cold symptoms some others miss with a decongestant, antihistamine, and a pain reliever you can't find in any other leading cold medicine.
The pain's gone. Ah, I can breathe.
Everything feels better, better, better.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Relief for your painful cold. And now for sinus and allergy relief, try new Alka-Seltzer Plus sinus allergy medicine.
The tour's top kegglers trying to tap into the prize money at the $160,000 Bud Light Classic. It's ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
Mike Ducat on the left and Daryl Ducat, his father, on the right. Proprietors not only of this bowling establishment, Cypress Lanes, the first time we've ever been here in Winter Haven, but also of our PBA National Championship at Imperial Lanes in Toledo. Now, Mazza, 7th frame.
John Mazza, Mount Clemens knows Imperial Lanes very well. John Mazza dropped from 1st to 2nd in the position round. This effect carry over today?
No, Bo, that's done and over with. All that counts is what happens today. And a good friend of mine, Larry Lickstein, won his first title 20 years ago this week, and I'm going to carry that inspiration with me today.
Larry Lichstein, the Player Services Director out here on the PBA Tour.
Oh, yes. John has strung 5, leads Mike Albee by 47 pins. Mike has a strike up. He'll be shooting in the 8th frame.
Something I haven't seen Mazza do in previous championship rounds. Put a player away when he's got him down. He's got Albee on the ropes. Albee must strike to even stay close to the match. Key shot, 8th frame. Mike Albee's day in the championship round is getting shortened because right now the best he can do is 222. Mazza already going at a 249 pace. Albee's going to need a miracle to pull this one out. Semi-final match.
Mike with his usual routine as he gets up on the approach. 9th frame. Nope.
Well, I was going to say Mazik has a chance to come up in the 9th frame and shut out Albee, but Albee did the work for him. With a short count here in the 9th, the best Albee can shoot is 208, and he needs to convert this spare. Ma's already in the 240 range. A little bantering going on in the approach right there.
How'd you say that? And Mike wasn't too pleased as he gave a look back at his opponent who got up early.
The evil eye, unfortunate, but the match was already over.
Yes. Ron Mazza. Mike Albee, of course, winning the first 2 games over Steele Smith and Kaufman. And now it will be 2 non-winners in the championship match, Mazza and Mike Edwards. ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Hey, Tom, why in the world would future Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan be shaving way out here in the Texas hills?
I don't know, Mel. I guess he never knows when he'll be called upon to make a pitch.
The big metal shaver, because even good old boys want to look good.
I'm a smoker, but in my office, it doesn't work. No problem. I chew Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. That cool, clean taste fits any agenda. When I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
He spent 6 years in prison for trying to kill his ex-wife. Now, the shocking story continues. Deadly Intentions, again, Monday.
Coors Light and Holiday Inn Southwick asks, how tough are you? For the 12th annual Toledo Tough Men and Tough Women contest, see over 40 of the toughest men and women battle it out to the finish. Friday, February 15th and Saturday, February 16th, 8 p.m. at the Toledo Sports Arena. Special Tough Man matches Saturday, February 16th, the Battle of the Champions. Tickets are available at the Toledo Sports Arena and all Ticketmaster's outlets. Tickets purchased between January 28th and February 10th will receive $2 off the ringside and general admission.
You know when it's right. You know when you feel it, baby. You hold it, you hear it, you taste it, it's right. You got the right one, baby. Irrepressibly lovable, unsurpassably quotable, and intimately soulful. You got the right one, baby.
With 100% NutraSweet. Geraldo, weekdays at 4 on 24 Toledo.
ABC News, this is a Gulf War update.
I'm Carol Simpson in Washington. Defense Secretary Cheney and General Colin Powell received briefings for 9 hours today in Saudi Arabia as they approach a decision about a ground offensive in the Gulf. Here in the U.S., the FBI has made 3 arrests in connection with the discovery Monday of bombs near the Norfolk Naval Air Base. The FBI says, however, the bombing attempt was not a terrorist plot, but apparently part of an insurance scam. And the Allies say their air war has now wiped out more than 750 Iraqi tanks, 19% of its entire fleet. This has been a Gulf War update.
All right, we're waiting the final match, but the first match was won by Mike Albee, 225 to 213 over Rick Steele-Smith with 6 strikes. Mike came back, a win over Kelly Kaufman, 203 to 181. And now non-winner John Mazza in the semifinal game with 8 strikes, shot a 246 to Mike Albee's 187. So it'll be 2 non-winners going for their first title in each case in the final match of the Florida Open. We're here at Cypress Lanes in beautiful Winter Haven. In St. Louis, Missouri is one of the great museums anywhere, the National Bowling Hall of Fame. Let's learn more about it. The National Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum was opened in 1985 as a cooperative project among bowling's industry giants. Among the mementos inside, you'll see the score sheet from the legendary Budweiser team's record series. Innovative bowling promotion props such as the Penmobile, the evolution of the bowling pin itself, and of course, the ever-changing design of bowling balls, as well as the lanes of yesteryear and today's ultra-modern equipment. On any given day, you might even see one of the Hall of Famers in action here in St. Louis. Mark Roth, a lefty, hard to believe. But the most popular attractions remain the lasting tributes of the great women and men whose contributions have made the sport of bowling so great. Like Marion Ladewig. Why, I think they've even found space for a popcorn farmer from Indiana. Okay, as we look at Jim Bennett, who is chairman of the Salute to Champions Dinner, proceeds benefit the Hall of Fame. And this year, the honorees are the president of ABC Sports, Dennis Swanson, vice president of Coca-Cola, Ike Herbert, and Marion Ladewig. That's March 3rd in St. Louis, the Ritz-Carlton. Bell. Be a nice party.
Excellent. Had one last year, and it's going to even be better this year. Now, 2 men who've never bowled in a championship or won a championship going in the final game.
All right. Yeah, last year, Mike Rorty winning the industry award, and I was honored to get the media one. And I have fun this year emceeing it. I'll make it short and sweet, Bo. I promise.
It's a fun night. Now, Mike Edwards, 4th consecutive championship round of the year in the #1 position.
Cutting through.
Edwards, a profile we have seen a number of times, a 6-step delivery, very powerful upper body, drives through that shot in a pivot step with a just good solid push. And you know what, Chris, he's not playing the lanes properly. I watched him warm up in his 6 practice balls right before the championship game, and he's left himself a tough split, and he's going to have more of those if he doesn't move inside towards the center of the lane.
Could that come from being maybe overconfident, 4th week in a row, making the telecast, but still struggling for that first title?
Well, I think he's put the idea of it's got to be back there somewhere, that he has to win a championship to prove himself. But, you know, it's like a golf putt, Chris. It could be a downhill break to the left. If you play it uphill to the right, you're going to miss it every time. And Mike Edwards, who is the tournament leader, is playing an outside line, and I don't see where it's going to work for any of the players today. So he may have to make an adjustment to see him way outside in the approach.
So it's a 9-pin for Mike Edwards on the left lane.
Well, he's thinking, and that's the main thing. As you see, is from the low trajectory, his ball, he tries to adjust for the shot that hit light in the first frame, gives him a little less speed, comes up high, almost leaves the 4-9 split, has an easy spare here in the second frame, but going against a zeroed-in left-hander, John Mazza.
All right, for Mike Edwards, spare in the second frame with a strike up from Mount Clemens, Michigan. Shot a big 246 in the last game. John Mazza. A 7. Oh, he is really pumped up. Got his game face on, ready.
That's for sure. And, you know, a change of pace is often good, Chris. I mean, he was always such a deliberate player, and he had no success in the championship round. 0 wins, 2 losses. At least he's won his first match by picking up the pace with a 240, and he's right up on the approach again.
All right. John is 5'9", 155 pounds. His opponent, Mike Edwards, 6'1", 185. Bring that up because all shapes and sizes enjoy this game, whether it's professionally or for fun.
Let's see how Maz is attacking the championship here. He's playing a big hook, almost like a cranker. Starts in the center. He's going to slide over here with his right foot, and watch his ball trajectory. He's almost on the third arrow going out. So watch this.
Last minute break for Mazza in the 8th pin. Okay.
Well, the profile, he's got the good push away. His form looks good, but he gets a great break right here. Watch him cross over on the right-hand side, the 1-3, and the 5 pin will just roll back, be taking out the 8 pin. Mazza, 12-pin lead. Let's see if Edwards makes some sort of adjustment. He's playing the extreme outside line, very oily in that area.
No break on that shot.
Now, good shot by Edwards, but once again, if you're a little bit off on the proper way to play the lane, you're not going to get the real good breaks each time. That's a lot of money to win, $392,000 without taking one of these tilts home with you.
Like last year, Mike won $78,200. And as we pointed out, 4 times in the finals. We asked him how he got involved in bowling and how he actually started on the tour.
Well, I started bowling when I was around 3. I followed my parents to the center most every week, and I turned pro when I was, I think I was 20, and I didn't have a lot of money when I started, so my grandfather helped me out, which was really nice. It kept it in the family.
His grandfather was in the grocery business, and Mike paid him back with dividends plus, and now he's out here being backed by Richard Altman from Oklahoma City, who backs a lot of the top players.
Grandpa Kilgore, 89 years old. And finally now, after the 4th frame, Albee makes Grandpa happy with a strike. We'll be back.
Warning, cold starts can be tough on your car's engine because your motor oil might not reach some of its parts for a full minute. Fact, independent lab tests confirm whether it's 35 below zero or 50 above. Quaker State 10W30 gets to all your engine parts faster than other leading 10W30s. At 40 degrees, it's 3 times faster. So don't let cold starts make it tough on your engine. Get Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil. Motor oil.
Good times with friends, hey, they're special. Sometimes you wish they would never end. The care you show is just as special. Friends know when to say when.
The family of Budweiser beers is proud of all the friendships they've helped make. So when they remind you to know when to say when, it's all in the name of friendship.
Friends know when to say when.
All right. Next week, it's the Bud Classic at sunrise. Today, it's the Florida Open, Cypress Lanes. John Mazza, leading by 13 pins, has a strike up, shooting in the 4th. Championship match. Had a 246 when he eliminated Mike Albee in the semifinal game. Now it's a game against the tournament leader, Mike Edwards.
Check these eyes. You talk about intensity as you see Mike Edwards working over the rosin bag. He is focused and in the zone, as you say. Look at those eyes, ready to go.
It's like watching thoroughbred horses in the starting gate through your binoculars. Boy, they're ready. And the Don Handicap from Gulfstream here in Florida this afternoon on Wide World of Sports, plus Clips Award winners announced.
And I like in the Don Handicap, you got to go with rhythm. He's a deep closer, Chris. And you want a long shot? Try Mercedes won at 20-1. Rhythm is 5-2 in the morning line.
Okay.
Right now, Maz is odds-on favorite to win this match as he leads by 22.
And continues to mark. Now, Mike Edwards.
Big shot for Mike. He struggled a little bit on this right-hand lane, plus being in arrears by 22 pins, needs to put some pressure on John Mazza. Fifth frame.
All right, that made his mom and dad, Gene, and Jim happy, along with his wife, Meg. Sort of newlyweds. Meg from Norristown, Pennsylvania. We'll be going to Erie next week.
Well, Edwards made a great shot in the fifth, was trailing by 22s, cut it to 12. Now he's come up on the lane. He's been very successful on the left-hand lane.
Is he loose?
Sixth frame. That's Jan Mazza. But the game will be on if Edwards strikes right here. It'll be just 2-pin difference.
Oh, yes. Cherokee and Choctaw and half Irish. And all Italian John Mazza. What a wonderful country this is, made up of all kinds of ancestry, heritages, though. I bet John will remember his speeding up his game and pulling the trigger, won't he?
I think so. Some of the greatest players of all times, i.e. Earl Anthony, Mark Roth, they were really quick. Not quite as quick as John Mazza is right now, but I don't think you tighten up. And Earl Anthony used to tell me, if I didn't know what I was going to do before I step up there, I'm sure not going to figure it out in another 10 seconds on the approach. So, good idea.
Okay. Like last week. All of us at ABC love Byron Nelson. If you ever played with Byron, he doesn't hesitate. He hits the ball. Why wait, he says. Should know what you're going to do when you get up there.
That's for sure. That's what you're sitting on the bench for, contemplating the next shot. Mike Edwards up, trailing by 12, 7th frame.
Hanging on the channel. A little bit too much outside. And he has left the 2-pin.
You see Edwards a little bit off balance, sliding off to the right. But once again, Chris, you picked it up. He's playing in that extreme outside slippery part of the lane, and the ball just doesn't make the big turn. He leaves the 2-pin. Not much margin of error out there.
But as we mentioned, his 4th consecutive week on our telecast, and knowing him as we have over these years, he gains confidence with each week. But sooner or later, he's got to win, as Butch Soper would say, our statistician.
Well, I talked to Pete McCordick, the former most prolific non-winner on the tour, and Pete says really the pressure is on Edwards, no matter how much you downplay it. And after McCordick had won his first title in Fresno, the second one was easy. So let's see what Edwards does here, see if he can get to the winner's circle.
The adjustment, he comes up high, right?
Well, yeah, I agree, Chris. And he's highlight, and he's bowling very well. It's sometimes hard to explain why a player can be that far off when he's bowling well. But he's playing in an area where there's very small margin of error. Now, he's got a very, very tough spare here, especially with all that oil on the outside part of the lane. He needs to get the ball between the 3 and 6 and carry out the 9 and still avoid chopping off the 10. So, very tough shot on this lane condition.
Ooh, just does, Mark.
There's a great break. He actually missed it so far he made it. The ball actually did not take out the 9 pin. The 6 pin just clipped the back of the 9. Terrific break, and he stays in the match. But Mazza has a chance to take it all here. 8th frame.
Authoritative strike, if there ever was one.
The moment of truth for John Mazza. After 9 years, going on 10, a full decade of professional bowling, he can capture his first title. If he can slam home a strike here in the 9th frame, that would take out Edwards. Anything less, Edwards can still win.
Oh, please!
Got his wish. Last year, John earned $71,220. Mike, as we said earlier, $78,200. So they have been bowling extremely well, and this shot, oh boy.
Biggest shot of his life. All that practice and dedication came through there. There's an outside chance for Edwards, but he must throw all strikes and have disaster strike John Mazza.
Last week, losing to Amleto Monicelli 220 to 216.
Difficult situation for Edwards. He's bowled so well. He knows the final outcome of this match has already been written, and he can't blame himself. He has to just go back and look at the tape. Look at the championship round and realize he was just a little bit too far outside. He could have played more in the center of the lane and been much more competitive.
The winner in this final match will receive $20,000. And John may have some early tears. Why not?
Causes sticky approaches, though, John, but it's a lot of fun.
And the runner-up, 10-5.
You think winning in professional sports doesn't mean something? It's called moonwater, something you can't experience on the earth.
All right, John. I was brought up to believe that it takes a man to cry. Okay? It's a tough match for this man who loves the color black. Mike Edwards, 4 weeks in a row. Imagine that. With that opportunity, coast to coast on television. But don't discount him or his ability or anything else about him. He's a tough cookie.
And right now, that color black's the left side of his bank statement. Doing well.
That's right, because he moves into second in the money earned thus far this year behind David Ozio, who won the first 2 matches. But for John Mazza, wow. And Mike Edwards, remember, shot a 211 here in the final match. Yet he has to again be a runner-up to another non-winner who no longer has that category. 26-year-old John Mazza from Mont Clemens in Michigan. And let's go back to New York now. And here's my colleague, Frank Gifford.
A very emotional afternoon for you. And updating you on some college basketball scores, Mississippi State upset 10th-ranked Kentucky this afternoon, 83-82. Seton Hall over Oklahoma, 92-85. And 6th-ranked Duke defeated Maryland. That score 101-81. Coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports from Hawaii, the Castrol GTX World's Fastest Athlete. We'll also have the debut of our American Championship Racing Series featuring the Don Handicap from Gulfstream Park in Hallandale, Florida. And from San Francisco, Thoroughbred Racing's Eclipse Awards. We'll return to Chris Schenkel right after this.
I think you're doing that thing. I don't know, right, man. Okay, that's fine.
Power. Control. It
It's what makes us excel beyond others. Power Stick Antiperspirant. It excels. 50% more power per stroke. 50% more odor in wetness fighters. 24-hour protection. 24-hour control that lasts long after ordinary deodorant sticks start losing speed. All day, all night. Power Stick. The power that puts you in control.
When it was first introduced, Ford Taurus became a tremendous success. Naturally, this made Taurus a target for the competition. But while they've been taking aim, we've been making Taurus even better, with improvements in ride, handling, and performance, and safety advances like a driver's airbag and anti-lock brakes. Because everybody knows it's much harder to hit a moving target.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Nothing beats being a fan. Nothing beats the sound of cheers. Nothing beats clean, crisp, and cold. Nothing beats the king of beers. Yeah, nothing. Nothing beats a bud. Yeah, nothing. Nothing beats a bud. Nothing. Nothing beats a Budweiser. Ice cold Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud.
This could be an engagement present, right, John?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The winner, John Mazza, for the first time. And Mike Edwards, who one of these days will be there, believe me, finished second, and you see the rundown. Now you see the engaged couple. We don't have much time, Leslie and John. We're proud of you. This trophy will make you never forget it. From Daryl Duquette, our host here. And Mike has the check of $20,000.
This is great. I don't know what to say. I want to personally thank Daryl and Mike. I've known them for plenty of long years, from back when they owned the bowling center in Sterling Heights. They're great people. I'm glad they're involved in the bowling industry. It's a great tournament.
Leslie, any comment?
It's been a long time coming. He deserves it.
When's the date?
Up in the air yet.
Okay. This may help decide that date. We're glad you were with us. Congratulations, John. Daryl and Mike, nice.
The Pro Bowlers Tour has been brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
A promotional fee has been paid to ABC by United Airlines. Come fly the friendly skies.
Saturday, he saved her life and fell in love. But was she worth dying for?
Why are you doing this?
The young riders, then.
He'll never know.
I will.
A marriage is tested when Kate is used as a love decoy.
I think we should check it out. Kate, who are you?
Undercover, Saturday.
On March 23rd and 24th, you have a chance to bowl with America's best and win up to $1,000 in the PBA National Championships Pro-Am Tournament, sponsored by Society Bank and Trust. Hi, I'm Chris Schenkel, inviting you to join the excitement. Bowl 3 games with 3 different pros and get an AMF ammo bowling ball free. Bowl with the pros in Toledo's biggest sporting event, the Pro-Am at Duquette's Imperial Lanes. For information, contact Duquette's Imperial Lanes or your local bowling center.
Now there's a great new pizza with all the pepperoni you want and more.
Yeah, pepperoni!
It's the new Pizza Hut Pepperoni Supreme with tons of pepperoni, plus mushrooms, onions, and green peppers. And now, get a medium pepperoni Supreme for just $6.99.
That's what I want.
It's the new pan pizza you've always wanted, and now it's all yours.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
Free delivery in Toledo and surrounding area. Check Yellow Pages for delivery in your neighborhood.
Hey, guys, let me out.
Finally, now that I'm out of that transmission, I can tell you about Earl Brothers Radiator and Engine Repair. At Earl Brothers Full Car Care Centers, we guarantee fine workmanship and quality parts. From a simple